Well, hey everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Told you guys I wasn't gone for good. Like I say, I'm just taking a little break here, so I hope there's no rumors going around out there that I've fallen off the wagon, I'm not eating right anymore. No, I'm just taking some time off, no drama here. But wanted to connect with you today, and today we're going to talk about don't take life so seriously, healthy attitudes. I was going through some stuff this morning and I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about today. I had 2 or 3 different ideas kind of planned out. And then I was reading an article, which always had this I like these weekend talks because it kind of just happens like that. A lot of times, sometimes I plan something out I'm going to talk about, but a lot of times I'm just reading something almost at the last minute, catches my eye, and I'm like, now let's talk about this today. And it's pretty apropos. I mean, I guess I should have mentioned this a long time ago to save people frustration. I'm not a serious guy. I think I piss people off sometimes when they try to get all serious with me because I'll throw an answer back and I think they think I'm being serious or a smart ass when I'm just like, I'm goofy most of the time. I don't take anything really all that seriously. And to be quite honest, even though, yeah, I got problems in my life just like everybody else, not taking life seriously, I stay pretty happy. But I got a little reading for you today. And as I try to, I tell you I always will, but I'm bad about it. I do it about half the time. I'm going to try to remember to link to this one so you can read it again if you would like. And it was just perfect. It's called 6 Reasons Not to Take Life So Seriously by a gentleman called Steve Kux. KUX is on a little website called lifehack.org. Every day you are faced with a million little traps that encourage you to take your life way too seriously. The frustrations of 21st century living come in many forms such as slow internet connections, people who drive at a snail's pace, and choosing what to wear to an event with an ambiguous dress code. It is easy to get caught up in perpetual flow of decisions and events that make up our lives and to forget that most of the challenges we are faced with are only as stressful as we choose to let them be. Next time you are tempted to smash your computer or lash out in a fit of road rage, remember these reasons not to take life so seriously. 1. The world is ridiculous. Objectively speaking, civilization is ridiculous. Next time you're at a scenic overlook or an elementary school Christmas pageant, take a second to look around and count the number of people who are experiencing the beauty of nature or the adorable miscues through small LCD rectangles instead of with their own eyes. If that isn't enough to convince you that our lives are ridiculous, consider the fact that it is customary for businessmen to tie a piece of cloth around their necks every day for no apparent reason, or that every suit they wear has a row of pointless buttons on the cuff. If you can stop and laugh at everyday absurdities, you're 2 steps ahead of the game. Number 2, relationships are all that matter. Time and time again, when researchers have tried to figure out what makes people happy, they have come to the same conclusion. Personal relationships make the biggest difference. If we valued our happiness over money, as many of us claim to, we would do everything we could to spend time with friends and family and not worry so much about putting in extra time at work. When you look back on your life, you won't reflect on the time you spent at work. You will remember family dinners, great vacations, romantic dinners, and your wedding. Prioritize people over your career. Number 3, rich people aren't happier people. Spending more time at home or with friends will probably have a negative impact on the balance of your bank account. Just reading that sentence probably sent a wave of panic through some of you. But consider the fact that wealth is not correlated with happiness. In fact, once you have enough money to satisfy your basic needs, money makes very little difference in your overall well-being. The only exceptions are if you give your extra money to charity or if it significantly boosts your social rank. Number 4, worrying isn't productive. Some of us even end up stressed out in situations where it is totally unwarranted. For example, you might find yourself visiting a new city like London or Paris and end up thoroughly confused by the transit system. You can find out how to get where you want to go and it makes you want to scream. You can't find out where you want to go and it makes you want to scream. But what are you accomplishing by stressing yourself out? Nothing. Take a step back and laugh at yourself. That one works very well. I take a step back and laugh at myself all the time when I feel the pressure building a little bit. Go with the flow and end up where you end up. Getting lost in a new city will lead to a better story than going to some stuffy museum anyway. Number 5, your time is limited. If worrying is unproductive and money doesn't make us happy, why do we waste so much time on those things? You only get to live one life. If you're lucky enough to make it to age 90, you still have less than 800,000 hours between the time you're born and the time you die to cherish and enjoy all the things that make up life. 1/3 of that time you won't even be awake for. So you would best make the rest of the remaining chunk. Do what you need to do to live a happy and fulfilled life and forget what anyone else tells you. Number 6, you are a speck. Finally, if you need a reminder that your problems aren't as big as they seem and you want to readjust your perspective, get out of the city and look at the stars. The universe is larger than you can imagine. It is filled with burning balls of gas, galaxies, and solar systems beyond counting. And in all likelihood, thousands of other civilizations fighting their own wars and facing their own challenges. In a very real sense, you are insignificant. What better reason could there be not to take your life so seriously? The only thing that really matters is enjoying your life as much as you can and helping other people do the same. That's a real little simple reading, but it's real succinct. It hits everything just right on the head right there, doesn't it? I mean, haven't you ever been in that situation before? Like maybe you're in traffic, and if you can have that aha moment and you can actually laugh at yourself, that's like a revelation. Have you ever caught yourself being too serious before? I've done this numbers and numbers of time, and it's very therapeutic to catch yourself in the middle of being too serious, going, screaming, pulling your hair out, whatever, and just laughing at yourself. If there's a mirror around, look in the mirror and laugh at yourself. It just gives you a little bit of perspective on, what's real in life. Because most of the things, if you really think about it, if you took the rest of, whenever you're watching this, if you took the rest of the day or the next few hours or whatever and spent all that time thinking about it, if you probably thought about it, so many things in your daily life are not all that serious. They're really not all that serious. Or they're not necessarily serious to the extent of if you don't do them one certain way or another, or, if you don't get to this event, or if you're not here exactly at this time, people aren't going to die. It's not life and death situation. Now, hey, not to minimize, and there'll be some sad sack that wants to point it out. Oh, but people, there are things, there are some serious things out there. I'm not saying that there's nothing in life that is serious, but I think we make life a lot more difficult than it needs to be when we make things serious that are not serious. I've just been trying to simplify my life. This has been a complete journey. It hasn't just been, this last 7+ years hasn't just been about, stopping drinking or the way I'm eating. I'm constantly trying to figure out ways to make my life better. Just better overall quality-wise. And that's one of the things I used to do. I used to stress out all the time, and I would blow things up. You've heard the saying. Everybody's heard that little saying, don't make a mountain out of a molehill. But I would take things, and then I look back on some of the things that I stressed about in the past now, and I laugh at myself again, because it's just like, it just really wasn't all that important. And even at the time, how could you not see that this was not all that important, and you let yourself get all worked up about it? So that's kind of like my coping mechanism now. I still do it. Oh gosh, yes. I'm not going to try to sit here and tell you, oh, I'm perfect. I never take things too seriously. Sometimes I overreact. Sometimes I judge things. But I've gotten a lot better at just stepping back and saying, wait a minute, whoa, 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 whoa. Just just poking a little fun and laughing at myself, because there's another one. I can't think of who says this quote. I'm thinking of a meme I've seen. It's got something like a Grateful Dead theme with these guys in bear suits skateboarding down a hill. And it says, don't take life too seriously. None of us get out of it alive. And we don't. If we live 100 years on this planet, still, none of us get out of it alive. And unless we do something really, 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 really big in our lives, nobody's even going to remember us 50 years after we're gone. So lighten up and enjoy life. It's meant to be enjoyed and not stressed about, but just the opinions of a senile old man. Hope you guys enjoyed this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll be back doing videos eventually, but I'll pop in from time to time. Might even come in with a recipe here soon. I've been working on a little bit of new content. So you guys have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.